How do we know the distance to the moon? Just by using math and observation. That's right, I'm redoing this video because I feel I can explain it better than I did in the last one. And all we need for this is a coin, mathematics, and keen observation. So, before we start, we do need to know the circumference of the Earth, which I think is standard knowledge in this day and age. The world has been clearly mapped, which is 24,901 miles. And to make things easy, we'll round it up to 25. And we have known this figure for a long while, since the ancient Greeks, thanks to Eratosthenes and his calculations, which I will go into in another video because these videos take a long time to edit, and we'll do one thing at a time. But if you are that keen to know, here's an article. You can read all about his experiment and how he did it to your heart's content if you can't wait that long. But back to the moon, and within this experiment, both the solar and lunar eclipse is going to help us solve this problem. From the solar eclipse, it's telling us that the moon and the sun are the same apparent size in the sky, meaning they will have the same angular size. This is going to be important later. This also gives us a clue on how to start the experiment off. So we obviously know that Earth has a shadow. I mean, this is how lunar eclipses occur. And what we need to know is how far Earth's shadow stretches into space. And our coin is going to help us do that. So we're going to take this coin, we're going to close one eye, and we're going to move the coin to where it just about blocks out the light from the sun. Actually, this is probably not recommended to do this with the sun, but you can do it with the full moon too, because they're the same apparent size, remember. And this will be with a coin that's 1 inch in diameter and about 108 inches away from the observing eye. And this is telling us that the length of the blocked light is 108 times that of the coin's diameter. So then, this is now telling us that Earth's shadow is also going to be 108 times that its diameter. So what is Earth's diameter? How can we figure that out? Well, we know its circumference, and the formula for a circumference is 2 pi r, equaling, in this case, a rounded up 25,000 miles. This is 2 times pi times the radius of Earth equals 25,000 miles. I am sorry, I'm sure this is patronizing to some of you, but I'm trying to keep it simple, you know, for the flat earthers. So now all we need to do is just rearrange the formula to make r the subject, and we've worked out the radius of Earth to be 3,978.87 miles. So we're doing well. This is a good approximation by modern standards.
We are nothing.
And we're going to round this up to keep it nice and simple for the flirflings. Times it by 2 to get the diameter, and then times it by 108. And this will give us the maximum distance of Earth's shadow. So at this point, we know that Earth produces a conical shadow no longer than 864,000 miles. And because lunar eclipses are a thing, we know that the moon sits somewhere within this figure. So it could be that the moon is small and far away, passing through the tail of Earth's shadow, or it could be much closer and much larger. But keeping in mind the solar eclipse and the moon and the sun are the same apparent size in the sky, we know that the idea of a small, faraway moon is impossible. So we know it's going to be closer and larger. So where can we go from here? So now we're going to go back to the lunar eclipse, and we're going to pay close attention to the time it takes to pass through Earth's shadow. And it turns out that at the distance of the moon, the diameter of Earth's shadow is about 2.5 times that of the moon. The Greeks originally did this, Aristarchus to be precise, and he did so by timing how long it took the moon to go from here to here, and then again from here to here. For example, if it took 10 seconds to go from here to here, it took 25 seconds to go from here to here. So now all we need to do is think about geometry. This is definitely where the flat earthers are going to get confused. Okay now, so what do we know? We know that segment AC is 864,000 miles. We know that angle ECD is the same as EAF. And we also know that length FE is 2.5 times that of ED. And when we consider the rule of similarities between triangles FAE and ECD, we can conclude that length AE is also 2.5 times the length of EC. And with the ratio of 2.5 to 1, we can conclude that length AC is 3.5 times the length of EC. Now we're ready to make our final calculation. So length AC is 864,000 miles, and that is 3.5 times the distance of EC. Length EC, remember, is the distance to the moon. So now it's simply 864,000 divided by 3.5, which gives us 246,857 miles. That sounds pretty good to me. Let's check the modern stats. Look at that. Between 226 and 253,000 miles. We are bang on the money. So, this was the exact method that the ancient Greek mathematician Aristarchus used to calculate the distance to the moon. And you can try this for yourself. Go out, try it, test it, prove the flat earth is wrong. So these brilliant ancient minds, with nothing but their wits, knew the distance to the moon, knew the earth was a sphere, and yet today, in the age of information, we have flat earthers. Can you fucking believe it?